Three Wise Radio. Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
I just had Qdoba today. It was pretty good. You ever had Qdoba, Joe? How about you, Sam?
I've had Qdoba. I had it just the other day. One of the fun experiences I always have with Qdoba is that it's one of those subjective restaurants where it's always, oh my God, how much chicken are they going to put on this? And the last time I went, which was yesterday, it is really more so than any other place because like sometimes they will screw you on chicken. It's like one spoonful makes 2 tacos. But this time they loaded me up and I asked for bacon and they went to town. It was like...
Was bacon?
No, like just like little chopped up bacons.
They have that?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I had a really good... my last experience with Qdoba was really good. But sometimes it can just be so depressing. Yet to determine... the Qdoba by our place, if it's a good one or a bad one. Takes some trial and error.
This episode is not brought to you by them, yet we will have vacation movies and a special birthday tribute to someone close to us. Welcome to Three Wise Radio, a podcast where we talk about video games, movies, comic books, TV, technology, the internet, and pretty much everything else media related. My name is Joe Greller. I almost combined the words movies and comic books into one. Joining me are the other two wise guys who can talk better than I can. Garrett Welker and Sam Pixley.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, Joe.
You're holding us in far too high esteem.
How are you guys this week?
Doing good.
Doing good. Busy week. Weekend's already over. Back to it.
Absolutely, because also these come out on Tuesday. So, yeah, you're right. The weekend is long behind us.
Right.
Have we ever decided that if we want to... I mean, granted, the facade is gone by having this conversation, but if we ever wanted to play like it is this day, or...
I think that's the typical podcast thing is like you bring it up every now and then you just kind of don't address it again. So,
okay.
I think we'll just leave it at that for a week or so.
Much like we will by moving on to some headlines. We'll do some small ones first and foremost. The Harley Quinn movie now has a screenwriter attached to it.
Does it?
Yes, it does. Her name is Christina Hodson, and apparently I think she's getting all the Warner Brothers franchise products that no one want because she's also going to be writing the Bumblebee film for the Transformers franchise.
Why?
So I can say don't bring the two together. That's fine.
Transformers and DC Universe?
Harley Quinn and Bumblebee.
Oh.
More specifically, I don't need that relationship.
Transformers is a Marvel property, though, isn't it?
Still.
The comics used to be. I don't know if they haven't published Transformers comics for a long time.
They've got some new ones.
Do they?
I thought they did.
Probably do. There's lots of those out there.
They got Power Rangers.
No, DC is Ninja Turtles.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, there's...
Oh, those kind. Well, Ninja Turtles started as a comic book.
Yeah.
So.
That's the thing. What else has she done? You gotta have your data, Joe.
I only have the news. I don't have history.
Well, news becomes history as soon as we talk about it.
Exactly. So now we know she's doing that. She's got those two things.
Oh, perfect.
If you want a little bit more information, we can go over to the Marvel Universe. Tom Holland has revealed how many films he signed on to.
8,000.
Basically, it's the Sam Jackson 7, as I call it.
Is it 7? I thought it was 6.
Well, if you count Civil War, his initial contract when he did Civil War was through 7. So the same thing as everyone else, 3 Spider-Man movies and then 3 other movies of their choosing.
Okay.
That seems appropriate.
I mean, especially because you have to realize this isn't just with Marvel. This one's also with Sony as well. So...
I stretch so thin.
Because the sequels technically are going to be Sony properties.
Yeah, it's fine. The character, with his age, and the character works that if the first trilogy goes really well, the next trilogy can be the college years, and it's set up perfectly to succeed. Should it do really well? So he could have work for quite some time.
Fingers crossed.
I've never seen him in anything else, so I don't know what he's capable of.
Into the Sea or whatever. It was that movie.
Was he in that?
Yeah.
No. The Heart of the Sea. Is it what Moby Dick's based off of? No.
With Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah, he's in that.
I haven't seen it either, but I've heard it's good.
What is a small child doing on a boat?
He was in another thing with John Bernthal before that. They both sent in their audition tapes to Marvel at the same time.
Was he also in an inappropriate place?
No, it was some village in like Ireland or something. I don't know.
Okay, that could be more appropriate. You don't put a child on a boat, Joe.
It could have been a
stowaway.
stowaway.
They did back then.
And they did back then, yeah.
1800s. It's like, hey, can you walk and carry this? Great, get on the boat and work.
Nah, not when you're hunting whales.
Especially when you're hunting.
They can't carry spears.
No, he might be bait. You don't know.
He might be bait. I guess that's fair.
And then also confirmed from Spider-Man, Michael Keaton finally confirmed that he will be the Vulture.
Shocking.
In Spider-Man Homecoming.
What?
Shocking.
Yeah.
Concept art looks good. Traditional and also tech savvy at the same time. Ooh la la.
So, Sam, have you ever heard the phrase putting the cart before the horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't count your chickens.
Right.
It's the same damn thing.
Garrett, have you heard who's directing Deadpool 2 yet?
No.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah, well, no one knows. But they're also already looking for Deadpool 3's director. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the studio is so confident in the franchise that they're already planning a Deadpool 3 and are getting ready to find a suitable director for it.
You know, we talked about last week about how it's bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah. I am uncertain of this future.
Which is kind of what you want with Deadpool. You want some kind of time travel, but... Oh, yeah. Wow, this is kind of a sullen headlines.
It is. Well, I have a list of people apparently Fox is eyeing for Deadpool 2.
Okay. It just feels like the bubble.
One of which I think you'll like. Actually, two I think you'll like.
Who do we got?
John Wick director David Leitch.
Okay.
That'd work.
Not this one, but I mean, he's got experience in the area. Luke Cage director Magnus Martin.
Sure.
And Drew Goddard.
What has he done?
Drew Goddard did a lot of... He's basically Joss Whedon's friend. So his claim to fame is...
Being Joss Whedon's friend?
Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean...
And then The Martian. He wrote The Martian, so...
It just like... aren't they eyeballing people for the second one?
That's the list for the second one.
So they want to do the second and third together?
They want to plan them together. Like I said, this is putting the cart before the horse. They're like, we're going to prep 3 while 2 is still a mess.
This is a $100 billion or $100 million cart,
Yeah, it is.
and the horse is Ryan Reynolds, who is trying his best, but can only do so much, even if you are a Mustang of that caliber.
As he's
I'm
proven,
just trying to stretch this analogy as far as we can.
as he's proven before.
Isn't he like 40 something?
I think he just turned 40.
Yeah.
I think he just recently, within the last month, he turned 40.
Okay.
All right, last depressing headline, and then we'll get into the news and not the news, the TV stuff and the Harry Potter stuff we were kind of talking about off air before. Sam, this one probably going to really upset you. Have you heard anything about the American Werewolf in London remake?
Yeah, it was gonna be my. It was gonna be a piquing interest. I have 2 of them, but
Well, I'm glad now I was able to take one away.
yeah, no, this is garbage.
Being produced by The Walking Dead's Robert Kirkman off a script just proving he still is living off his father, Max Landis.
I remember reading Max Landis in American Werewolf. I was like, I'm not even going to read this article.
John Landis is allowing his worst creation to affect arguably his greatest creation.
No, you're completely right.
So it's very disheartening. Yeah, you just don't need to touch that. They tried to do a sequel once. American Werewolf in Paris was like a pseudo sequel, and it was garbage.
It was, but I don't think he had any hand in that, did he?
No.
Okay. I remember when that came out.
I guess now when Max Landis is always saying like, "Oh, I understand Superman more than anybody else," he can be like, "I understand my dad better than anyone else." And you're like, "Okay, that's fair."
He might. I mean,
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like when he sounds like a pompous asshole, you can maybe be like, "Okay, I excuse that because the man raised you."
all right.
This movie will determine John Landis's parenting abilities. If he's able to be like, "No, you're screwing this movie up, stop it," or if he just gives him free reign because my son's an artist. This is so disappointing.
Scoff.
All right, on to some TV news. First, if you were looking for yet another Marvel property to watch, you'll have to wait another year. Freeform's Marvel Universe will not get off the ground just yet. Cloak and Dagger is now being pushed back to 2018.
Tragic.
So wait, is
Tragic.
Do you think they would just move Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. over to Freeform, or are they just going to keep it on regular ABC?
They'll keep it on regular ABC because, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and I agree, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., while it's getting better apparently, I think you've been watching it this year. We've kind of done a 180.
Hearing that for 4 years.
Yes. But Garrett and I have actually done a 180 on this one where I'm not watching it anymore, and you're keeping up with it fairly week to week, just about, aren't you?
Yeah. And honestly, they've been talking about doing exactly what I want them to do, and just like stop worrying about like anytime that Skye is in the scene, she's the center focus, but she's getting a lot less scenes that she's in, and it's focusing a lot more on Ghost Rider, which is what I wanted them to do. They're even in talks to do like a Netflix series with this Ghost Rider, which I'd be okay with. And so let's just hope it continues down that way.
I did like their last reveal. Spoiler if you didn't see the last episode, but he didn't actually make a deal with the devil when he was in a car crash. Again, spoilers. When he was in a car crash, another Ghost Rider rode up on a motorcycle.
What?
Yeah.
And passed it on to him. So Nick Cage could be out there. He's definitely not, but he could be.
Oh, this is the one time I want Nick Cage back as Johnny Blaze. Are you getting the older, just like, I'm done with this Johnny Blaze? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they may go looking for him or something. I don't know. It's
all right.
cool.
I'll probably end up binging this.
I've watched just the clips of Ghost Rider, and it looks good.
I was saying, yeah, the fight between him and Patriot was really good.
Between him and who?
Patriot.
Mace.
Was it good? Oh, there was another fight between him and a guy with a chain.
No. This is a good dude.
But that one was crappy
on the aircraft carrier.
They fought in a firework factory.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
They could do shitty quality explosions.
Good. Other TV news. I forget what we were.
Stephen Amell.
Kinda
calling out his entire working environment.
Season.
Good, because if you've listened to the cast before, when we went through this last year, and you can go back to one of our episodes entitled Arrow's Big Reveal, where we do an entire segment on the downfall of Arrow, just about.
Yeah.
You could tell last year that he was in the stage of like, guys, I know it's bad, but they write my checks, so let's please not. Now
he's going through the stages of grief.
Well, no.
I think we're in acceptance.
When is all this now coming out? They just hit 100 episodes, and 100 episodes guarantees you syndication. TNT has picked up the series, so Stephen Amell's financial future is a little bit. Oh, it's on TNT now, weekdays.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Stephen Amell's future, he's taken care of now for a little bit, to where he'll get those residual checks now.
Residuals.
In the mail. So now that it's out there, he's like, listen, I know this is going to be on TV for a few more years. This might be able to float me while I can finally come out and say, guys, we suck now.
Yeah.
Let's make Arrow great again.
He essentially did say that if the season is like last season, which was a huge disappointment, then they're done. That's it.
And they should be.
But if they're able to find that magic again, then they'll keep going. And he said it's got a long road ahead.
Yep.
Credit for that.
Also, 23 episodes per season is too much.
Sure.
In similar news, though, Legends of Tomorrow got an additional 4 episodes put on, so they're up to 17.
I hear it's great.
I quit watching halfway through last season, but yeah, it's good. It was good what I saw.
Me and Charlie talked about it last time whenever he was in town, and it's just like once they realized that they didn't matter, they just went for it. Mm-hmm. They went and just did whatever they wanted, and it turned out okay. Like, it's not great, but it's not bad.
That's what you shoot for.
Mediocrity.
Do we have another TV one?
I don't know.
Okay, then I'll ask this question. We'll move on to Harry Potter. Out of every superhero TV show on normal television, not counting Netflix, normal television, because we really don't know what a shelf life is for a Netflix show yet. They haven't gotten to that. What do you think will be the last show standing? Or do you think...
Obviously Cloak and Dagger.
Or do you think they'll all end at the exact same time? Because if you're CW, that's a show per night that you're going to wipe out when you decide to end these. What do you think is the last show standing?
You want to say Flash because of quality, but I would guess Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because of the backing of Marvel.
Yeah, it's basically an hour-long commercial for their movies.
And they can do a full refresh on that if they need to.
Mm-hmm. They kind of already have, almost. More than once.
So,
all right. Harry Potter news. Last week we revealed that Johnny Depp will be
Huge reveal.
running around in Paris in the sequel, making us even less interested in part 2 of Fantastic Beasts.
I didn't say that.
So Johnny Depp running around as a wizard in Paris has you interested? They couldn't see your dance.
I know.
The only thing that throws me off is when I'm reading the books and I picture Grindelwald. I picture him like Dumbledore in a robe and a hat or something, not what I'm assuming will be Johnny Depp in like a purple tight suit.
Okay, so
With a hat with a feather in it.
that's basically the news, that Johnny Depp's going to play
This very evil character
named...
Grindelwald.
Okay, Harry Potter illiterate over here.
Okay,
So
so back before our Harry Potter story, like the books start, Dumbledore and Grindelwald are...
Gay lovers.
They're not gay lovers. Dumbledore has feelings for him, but Grindelwald does not return it. Damn
it.
But they're good friends, and they're talking about like revolutionizing the magic world and like exposing magic to Muggles, like non-magic people, and then basically becoming like overlords and like not necessarily enslaving the Muggles, but like it's like they don't know what the fuck they're doing, so we need to take charge, sort of thing.
So basically, did Johnny Depp just sign on to be Voldemort for this entire 5-part now, which is the other news coming out, series?
Yeah, but he won't.
Yes.
He's not pure evil.
Yeah, like Grindelwald like still kind of had like...
But he's going to be the antagonist over this entire thing.
Yes, but he will be the
I'm assuming.
antagonist.
Yeah, ish. I think it'll be done in a different way. I mean, it's not going to be as cut and dry as that.
But
Probably.
Did they say what the sequel name is going to be?
I don't know. I thought it was just going to be Fantastic Beasts Part 2.
Part 2.
Well, that's the thing, is there's going to be 5 of them.
So I thought we would get like Eddie Redmayne and his quest for Paris, Eddie Redmayne and his quest for South America.
It's just going to be
keep
called
continent
Wizards
jumping.
in Paris.
I'm okay with that.
I got my wizards in Paris, and they're going gorillas, right?
Who doesn't want to see Whip?
Isn't this too many movies? David Yates is doing all of them.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, in terms...
Yes, it is. It's the same thing as Star Wars. The same thing as everything. Let him breathe. Sometimes when you
They
you
did
tell
breathe,
us,
though. That was between the Harry Potter movies and then this one. That was the breathe. It just happened
sometimes
really
when
quick.
a story is done, it's just done. It takes away from the magic that is that story.
I know,
if you
but-
keep adding.
But they're not, like...
Pun intended.
They're not going on that story. They're going on...
The prequels?
They're going on the world before.
Oh, and we
sort of
remember
thing.
how great a prequel series is.
Don't think of it as a prequel thing. Think of it as like an extended universe sort of thing.
Fan fiction.
That's the thing, is there's no way that they go 5 movies when they cast Grindelwald, and I think they're going to do a young Albus in there too in the second one. Like, there's no way that this doesn't veer into that world.
I mean, because that takes place like 40, 50 years before Harry Potter's even born.
Right.
So, I mean...
I don't think they get to like the point where it connects with Harry Potter, but I think it will
Are
slowly
wizards
turn.
triple digits in age?
What?
Or are they normal life expectancy of a
Ooh,
human?
mystery.
That's a good question.
They live to be very old.
Bible old? Yoda old? Or are we talking like
I would
my
say
grandfather
like
old?
the Dunedain from Lord of the Rings.
Once again, man.
Men blessed with long life.
Like,
What-
like
what does
100,
that mean?
130,
Like between
150.
100 and between 150
Okay.
ish.
Okay.
Get at me, Tolkien people, if I'm wrong, but I think it's somewhat accurate.
Yeah.
They look good.
They look good for
They
their
look
age.
good for their age, for sure.
I mean, Aragorn was like 90.
Yeah. Blessed with long life.
And coming up, someone else who looks good for their age?
Questionable.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Let's see. I've been working on my diction, so let's give this a shot. 3 wise. No.
3 Wise Radio.
The day this cast is coming out, it is November 15th, so we would like to wish a very happy birthday to an actress who holds a sentimental place in our heart.
Fan of the show.
Not proven. Probably not if she heard our Insurgent review.
Fan of the show.
But,
Fan of the show.
Shailene Woodley is 25 today.
Bless her heart.
So, happy birthday to her. So,
how stoked is she gonna be
When she hears
when she tunes in? It's like, she like wake up and be like, no way. Wait, today's it couldn't be. It is.
So what we thought we'd do is celebrate her birthday by giving her a fair chance as an actress.
Yes.
Because we talked about this when we did our Insurgent review, was that
Blamed her for all of it.
we did. but we didn't know that much about her. Like, Garrett did some back work and watched the previous Divergent movies.
Yeah.
I think he was the only one because we tricked him into it. Again, yeah, we'll get to that too. Yes, but we thought we'd celebrate her birthday by our present to her, giving her a fair chance and actually going through her filmography.
We watched the whole damn catalog, Joe.
We did as a group. Not one individual watched the whole catalog.
No, we're not gods.
But as a group, we watched the entire catalog of Shailene Woodley.
Post Secret Life of an American Teenager.
Correct.
Yep.
Starting with, well, okay, do you want to explain how we did it, or do you want to get right into...
So we just kind of divided it up based on the year it came out after Secret Life of an American Teenager. Wanted to give her a fair shake, so the way that I thought we'd do this is we'd start her out at a baseline 0. We all start as a 0 when we're born, see how we do after that. So, the way I'd say, we each give a brief synopsis for the movie that we got, and then we kind of give whether the movie was good, that'll merit a point or a deduction.
And then whether she was good.
And then whether she was good in it or not, or the opposite of that. And then that will be an additional point, and we'll tally it up and see if we're able to remain neutral or if we give her a positive review
Or a negative.
or negative review.
Right.
Essentially, we're not nice to her, so we wanted to give her a shot. And if you're going to talk trash about something, you should know everything about it. So that's what we did.
All right.
All right. What was the first one and who got it?
First off was the 2004 film A Place Called Home.
That was me.
That was Garrett.
Keep in mind, this isn't all prior Secret Life of American Teen.
This is so if you Wikipedia her, these are the movies that are not TV movies.
Correct.
That are the first ones to pop up on Wikipedia.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's 12 movies, so yeah, it's good.
Honestly, this was one I couldn't find. This is a Hallmark movie.
All right, so we're 1 for
So
1
that
with not
was actually a
watching.
TV movie.
So yeah.
Oh, so it was a TV movie? Okay,
So-
that's fine. We'll scratch it off.
It looked pretty cheesy
Okay.
though.
All right. So next up, 2005, Felicity, An American Girl Story. This is based off the book series.
I saw him watching it
An
today,
American
so I
Girl.
know he
Oh, I thought-
did.
I didn't know. So I didn't know this. But this movie takes place in the colonial times, right before the Revolutionary War. I did not know that. It's about Felicity.
Did you find this out before? Or
No,
after
as
watching?
I played it. I opened it up and I just see a horse trotting. I'm like, oh, this isn't what I thought it would be. So it takes place. Felicity just turned 10 years old, and obviously she's a tough girl. She doesn't want to grow up to be a lady. She wants to ride horses and work in the shop with her pa. More importantly, this is really a story about a man taking part in the beginning of the Revolutionary War. Felicity's father, played by John Schneider. Pleasant surprise.
All right.
Joe gave no emotion whatsoever. Thought he'd be more excited.
He's not a farmer. He's
He owns a general store in this.
Exactly.
And he
that's not a
starts the
farmer.
Revolutionary War with the help of lovely Felicity, 10 years old. And it's just kind of about her trials and tribulations of fighting that need to be her own woman, but still being brought up as a lady. And then also they just mixed in the Revolutionary War starting for fun. There's also a horse involved. She likes horses. And there's obviously a cruel blacksmith that likes to beat his horse. And the horse's name is Penny. And so she takes the horse and then gets in some trouble for taking it. And that's that. It ends up, the Revolutionary War happens. It starts. Yeah. And she doesn't have to be a lady. So that's the movie.
All right. How are we awarding this point system?
I'm going to give it -1 for the movie.
Okay.
And I will give her a 0 because she wasn't bad in it. She was 10.
Okay.
So
Was she good for a 10-year-old? Because, there are some 10-year-olds where it's like...
You're a terrible child
it's
actor.
like, yeah, someone just put you on here
no,
'cause you look cute.
it was just
Could
neutral.
she give
Like
you an emotion?
I mean, I wasn't watching her and I wasn't soured by her, but I also wasn't like, oh wow, good job. It's not like when I watched It's not when I watched Super 8 and I was like, oh man, those kids are awesome.
Then I would consider that
A positive.
A positive,
She
yeah.
did her job. Okay.
Do
So
+1.
all right, so we'll go with so that's a -1 for the movie and then +1, so we're still at 0.
yeah.
I would not recommend this movie to anyone.
All right.
Unless you're a big fan of the American Girl series.
True.
Then go for it. Next up in 2007, we've got Moolah. Who had Moolah?
I had
Joe did.
Moolah.
Play it out for
I
me.
think we're just clockwise now.
All right, so she is barely in this film, by the way.
Good. It's a good start.
Isn't she like on the cover though?
No. Okay, I think she's on the cover of like reprints of the cover because this is
now
like
she's a bigger deal.
Yeah, because this was like one of those films where it's done by like a third or fourth like small time production company. It was only made for like 1.8 million, and it's literally about like this businessman who is like on the brink of collapse. And
Okay. What kind of business? Did you watch it?
I did. It's called American Light Sticks. I just can't for the life of you tell you what the hell they make.
American light sticks, candles, or flashlights,
I honestly can't tell you what they.
right?
It's gotta be. Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know. It's like just this thing.
When is it based? Because so far we've yet to breach the modern
2007.
era. Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be a comedy. It's in the modern era.
Okay. So this guy makes candles.
And must have been because I know the company's failing. I watched this with like keeping one eye on the Michigan game on
Perfect.
Saturday night. So,
Perfect. We do our due diligence.
on the brink of collapse. And basically he has this chance to like buy a cow.
Oh, great.
Hence, moolah is like the double entendre.
See, that's good writing.
It's for the cow and moolah meaning money.
It's cash cow.
How does the cow help him? Joe, did you watch this movie?
I did, but barely.
Okay.
It was on YouTube.
How did they? So was Felicity, American Girl Story, and I watched that. And its whole full screen crappiness.
It's there. I don't even know if this was in theaters.
I just want to remind you that Felicity, an American Girl Story, was also not a top tier film.
But it was in theaters.
Was it?
Yes, I remember it coming out.
Oh,
I don't know about that. All right, so based on your wealth of knowledge about the plot and the movie in general, what do you give the movie?
0?
A -1?
No,
We're doing
just-
no zeros.
We're doing no zeros?
I've just decided no zeros because that's a cop-out.
Okay. -1 then, because like I said,
Great.
this looked like a movie that probably should have been on TV, but was not.
Okay.
And her, I'll give it a +1 because like she's fine in it, but she's barely in it. She's not in the movie really.
Well,
She's like 7th or 8th like character plot point that it's like, hey,
it's on her Wikipedia page, so
it is not on her Wikipedia page.
it is.
I have it pulled up right now.
It's a different page. Moving on. All right, now we get into a little more legitimate stuff, I would believe. We are in 2011 with The Descendants.
okay.
This has the George Clooney effect, which I think is a powerful effect. Garrett.
Powerful, yes. Maybe not for this one though, and it might not have been George Clooney's fault. But so this movie focuses around a family. George Clooney plays I don't remember what his job was, but he owns. I don't think they ever really mentioned.
No one gave this 100%.
He was a very busy man to the point where like he didn't have enough time to spend with his family. The movie starts off with his wife getting in a car, not a car crash, a boat crash. She hits her head and is in a coma.
Nice.
And then it kind of ruffles up the family. It's Shailene Woodley's the older daughter, and then they've got a younger daughter, and he doesn't know really anything about his kids because he's always working.
Because he's a busyness man.
Because he's busyness man.
It's wordplay. Is the mom in the coma still?
Yeah, like the whole movie.
Oh, so do they travel with her, like a Weekend at Bernie's kind of thing, or they just like travel without her?
No, they live in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
So because he owns like a lot of property in Hawaii.
Great. So what happens?
So it's just kind of like one of those like family movies where it's like trying to rebuild the family, going through a lot of issues. That he finds out that his wife had been cheating on him.
Damn.
And so
Can't be mad at her because she's in a coma.
Yeah, and a lot of the movie is like him trying to rebuild his relationship with his daughters, but then also like trying to creep on the guy that like trying to find out who the guy was and like, creep on him.
Which that seems pretty normal.
Matthew Lillard.
I don't know who that is.
Shaggy from the live action Scooby-Doos.
I still don't know who that is.
Oh, I know who that is. That dude is awesome.
From Scream.
Also in the big score.
He's in 13 Ghosts.
Okay. All right. So is it feel good or is it not feel good? How do we end?
It ends on like a really somber note.
Great.
Because like the wife of the guy that cheated on that his wife cheated on him
Sure.
with shows up the day that they're getting ready to pull the plug.
Damn.
And is like, hey, I'm sorry. And then they pull the plug, and it's just like, well, we're going forward from this now.
So then did George and her get together because their spouses cheated on each other with each other?
No, it was like she just shows up out of the blue. It's like, I feel like somebody from my family should be here.
Okay. So having not seen this movie, what you're telling me is this the kind of movie that like Paul Dano should have been in?
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of the feel that I'm getting from this movie.
It's definitely like film festival movie.
Cool. How did Shailene do?
Honestly, really good.
Really good?
Yeah, like she's the like kind of more rebellious daughter, and it's like she's the one that tells the dad like, hey, I saw mom cheating on you, sort of thing. And that's why me and mom were on bad terms. That's why we were arguing all the time. It wasn't because of any shit of like you not being here. It was because of that.
But I waited until she was in a coma to tell you.
Yeah. And so it's the daughter kind of helps. She's kind of honestly, she's really like the centerpiece for this family, because like she's helping the dad reconnect, but she's also helping the dad like find this other guy so that they can eat. So
she's the glue.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Descendants. What do we give the movie itself?
1.
1. Okay. And what do we give her?
1.
Oh, we were up to 2. Very nice. If she has a positive, we can never be mean to her again. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All right, so The Descendants is knocked off the list. So now we jump to 2013 with The Spectacular Now, starring Shailene Woodley and Miles Teller.
Oh.
Who is just always older than he should be. He looks older than he should be, but at all ages. Like right now, he looks like he's probably 35, but he's 29. He's always at a 6-year jump. So this is
Hopefully that'll level out at some point.
Maybe not. Who's to say? I mean, I think he does pretty well for himself. I hear good things.
Yeah.
So this is a classic high school tale. It's a modern imagining of a romantic comedy. Miles Teller plays an 18-year-old who just had his long-term girlfriend break up with him. He lives in the now. He's a fun guy. It's always about being the goofster, things like that. The girlfriend breaks up with him because she catches him in the car with another girl who he only went on a pseudo double date with because he wanted to help his friend get laid. So they were just sitting in the car talking about their friends trying to hook up, and his girlfriend, played by Brie, what's her name? Captain Marvel.
Larson.
Brie Larson, who's lovely in the movie. And it's just about him stumbling upon Shailene Woodley, who, classic Shailene, she's a nerdy kid that doesn't wear makeup, but she's really into some weird stuff like comics and things like that, but she's still a really cool chick. So everyone thinks she's weird, even though she's clearly not. She's so relatable. So fucking relatable. It's disgusting. And it's just about their interactions. And we find out later that Max Teller is the way that he is because his dad was a drunk. He thought he was a pilot, but that wasn't really what it was. And there's a lot of family drama. And they eventually meet his dad, and his dad doesn't give a shit about him and pushes him to the side, yada, yada, yada. And it's just kind of about their relationship. And it's more about Miles Teller than it is about Shailene Woodley. But
I feel like that's been the trend so far, is that these movies have been about someone else. Because like the one I was in was all George Clooney, you know.
I don't want to be biased, but could it be because you know what happens if you give her the lead?
We'll find out.
Yeah. But I mean, she was okay in this. She was a little stale. There wasn't really anything for her to do in this movie. But you know Miles Teller was amazing in this movie. I would actually recommend this movie. There's a really great scene where he comes home. He has a drinking problem, and just after his boss says, we have to let one of our people go, I want you to stay, but you have to promise me you're not going to drink anymore. And he says, I can't promise you that. And he comes home crying to his mom, just saying, like, I'm just like dad. And there's a really strong moment where Miles Teller, a very tall actor, I think he's like 6'4" or something. Maybe he's not. Really? I don't know. I think he's a very tall guy. But just this really tall kid coming to his mom, and just like the way that she has to embrace him while still being like so much smaller than him as he's just like breaking down. It was actually really powerful. So Miles Teller killed it in this. Shailene Woodley was just kind of like meh there. Maybe it was because Teller did such a good job. Maybe Teller didn't do such a good job, and acting with a wooden plank makes you seem better than you actually are. But I would give the movie a +1, and I would actually recommend this more than any of the other movies I saw. +1, and she gets a -1.
So you staying at 2 then?
So we'll stay at 2. Very good movie, though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Made me want to be young again.
Okay, update on earlier. I apologize. Felicity and Moolah were both television movies.
Boom.
She made her film feature debut in Descendants.
Anywho, so now we will go down to 2014. I only wrote down WBIB, so it's like White Bird in a Bush.
White Bird and a Blizzard.
In a blizzard.
White Bird in a Blizzard.
Yeah.
All right. This one takes place in 1988.
Excellent.
And
you already know more about this movie than the other one.
Exactly. And she is the daughter of Ava Green.
Nice.
Who plays her mom. And it's kind of like
Is she freaky?
Oh, both are. And it's like, it's like, okay, so I did
Whoa, real quick. Shailene Woodley cannot keep up with Eva Green in terms of freakiness.
No.
There's no way. Nope.
So, in 1988, her mom, which is played by Eva Green, goes missing.
Ooh.
And there's like this whole entire police investigation, and they're trying to find her. And so the movie is cut through flashbacks of Eva Green, like, coming to terms with like having a child and like going from like this wild, rebellious, freaky type to kind of like this more domesticated mother figure and being like, I don't like my life. I don't want to be here.
So she runs away.
That's the theory. Because she disappeared, basically.
She did.
But she marries Christopher Maloney, who's also really good in this movie.
Nice. Chris Maloney's good in everything.
Pretty much, yes. I've yet to see something he's not good in. And she's grown up with like out a mother and everything else. So after they kind of establish the story, it jumps 4 years.
Great.
And
wait. How early in Shailene Woodley's character's life does Ava
17?
Green, that's when her mom disappears.
Correct. And then it jumps 4 years to like her in college. And you see that
some really formative years there.
I know.
I didn't. The movie did.
No, I know.
Okay.
Unless you fell asleep for a half hour.
No, I didn't. I watched this one attentively because, as I'll get to it, I know people that would love this movie. And she is now like going out there and she's like trying to be all sexual and
nice
going out there, and she develops like a relationship with like this boy down the street and everything else who they've kind of been on again, off again for the 4 years or whatever that you've seen. And then Thomas Jane is the detective, and he starts investigating the disappearance, and it's
4 years later.
No, over time. Sorry. So
okay,
like this
so he's been on
time.
the case.
Yes,
it's a cold case at this point,
and it starts to point to that maybe her husband Christopher Maloney killed her, and it goes back and forth, and finally and I'm going to use this selectively, climaxes with Shailene Woodley tries to like seduce Thomas Jane, and Thomas Jane's like, no.
Nice.
And then she goes, well, if he's not going to help me, because she was trying to seduce him to be like, prove that like I know my father killed my mother. So
wait, what? Where's the logic there?
Because they didn't have a good relationship or whatever.
Who didn't?
Her parents.
So why does having sex with him prove that her dad killed her mom?
No, but she he just wants her. She wants her to like say like, I fabricate evidence. I found out. I know. Like they'll believe you if you're the one saying it, not me. Type deal. So it kind of climaxes where
that's kind of shitty.
She thinks that her body's been in the freezer downstairs. They have like this walk-in like meat freezer downstairs, and she thinks that her mother's been hidden in this freezer like the entire time. Her body.
She just open it.
She does, and starts like taking
meat,
everything out, and like
she's been eating her mom.
No.
Oh, damn it!
The mom's not in there. They try to do a twist here. I'm getting to it. The mom's not in there, and like she ends up like apologizing to her father and everything else. Well, it's the last time she sees her father, because later on that night he goes out to a bar, gets really drunk, and admits that he did kill the mother and remove the body from the freezer the night before that she was digging through it. He gets sent to jail, hangs himself, and then the film ends that shows you how he killed her, and it turns out that Christopher Maloney was having his own affair with the boy who Shailene Woodley was
he was having
a gay affair with the boy that Shailene Woodley was seeing, and Ava Green walked in on him and just laughed at him, and he strangled her to death.
Damn.
Roll credits.
Cool twist, I guess. So is Ava Green cheating too?
No, she tries but can't, and then she goes through this whole thing of like, well, I'm not what I used to be, all this other stuff.
So then she comes back saying like, oh, maybe I'm not what I used to be,
Right.
and then sees him banging a dude.
And she just laughs at him, and like she dies.
Does
And
she laugh at him? Does she laugh at him, or does she laugh at the situation?
A little bit of both, but it's like maniacal Ava Green laughing, where like, and that's how she dies. It's like he strangles her.
Laugh any other way?
He strangles her while she's laughing still, and that's how.
Where's the other dude during this?
Oh, he ran out the door.
Naked?
Probably. Yes.
Classic.
Well, yeah, basically.
Cool.
So, as I said, this one I watched intentively because
Sounds like there's an actual story here, which
there's a car. It's like a car accident that you can't take your eyes off of.
perfect. All right, so what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a +1 because like I hated this movie, but I know so many people who are like, no, it's about coming to terms with who you are and doing things. That I know there's so many people
it's not.
that would love this movie. So
What do you give it? It's about what you would give it, Joe.
I'd give it a 0, but you said we can't do that, so I'm going to go with a +1.
With a +1 instead of a -1.
Okay.
She's killing it.
What do you give Shailene?
What do you give Shailene?
-1 because there's too many times where she like has to actually
Act.
because she's the narrator basically. Like it's like
She narrates in all her other movies too.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
so she's trying to move the story along, but the entire time you're focused on her, but you're like, just get back to Maloney and Jane and Green. I don't care about this. I want to see more of the other people.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So next up, we swivel back to Divergent. The first of the Divergents, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Garrett.
I'm not gonna bother going into like detail about this movie. We already reviewed it.
There's
You
a
can
bunch
go
of
back to
people-
last March and listen to our podcast.
All right. So it's a post-apocalyptic world.
Perfect.
Shailene Woodley gets chosen out of a group to join this group called Divergents. They're like kind of the rebellious. They're the enforcers. They're shit, man. I don't know.
How can Shailene Woodley be so rebellious and so bland all
At
the
same
time?
She ends up like leading the rebellion more or less.
Probably less.
Probably less, yeah. Because she finds out that it's all just a big conspiracy theory of like one group trying to get rid of all the other groups or like take control and enslave the other ones. This is one of those movies that was trying to ride on the coattails of the Hunger Games and failed.
Young adult novels.
Young adult novels. I would give that movie a -1.
Perfect.
I would give her acting a -1.
All right.
So we're back
That's
at
fair.
0.
That's fair. All righty. Now we swivel back to me, to what I believe is a very popular movie, Fault in Our Stars.
It is.
Kid with cancer meets other kid with cancer, romance
story.
ensues. Is it a true story?
Yeah, actually, it just came out that like that couple is like both sick again and like not doing well.
Oh, damn.
Looking
I will
forward to the
not-
sequel.
I will not let that judge my judgment
Okay.
of this. So yeah, she's got really bad cancer. She meets a guy that has less bad cancer. It's less bad. He's the cool.
I got it. I'm just.
He's the cool guy in the cancer group. That's like, he's here for his friend who has eyeball cancer, and so he's gonna lose both of his eyes. But he's just like supporting his friend. He lost his leg. Cool guy lost his leg. But that was the price that he paid to get rid of his cancer.
Gotcha.
So he's doing good. Shailene doesn't want to go to the group because it's led by a really crazy Jesus guy that's like, hey, if we all just sing about Jesus,
We'll get better.
we'll be super happy all the time. One nitpicky thing that I have about this is anytime you have a romantic comedy that starts off with a voiceover from the lead actor saying, you know how romantic comedies are like romantic comedies? Well, we're not like romantic comedies. This is real. That's kind of a trope that I personally am incredibly turned off by as soon as I hear it in a romantic comedy. So started with that, and it just kind of progresses. They exchange, her and cool guy exchange books. He likes an action adventure book, and she likes this book by this author. It's a really like classy book that talks about death and yada yada yada. And then the romance ensues immediately. Like when I say this guy's cool guy, I mean like the first day he meets her, he's like, "Hey, you want to go see a movie?" "Oh, sure. When?" "Right now." "Well, we can't go right now." "Sure we can. Here's the car. Let's go." And then they see a movie, and then they're in love. He also is missing a leg, so he doesn't drive very well, which is a point that they bring up. It's not funny, Garrett.
Garrett, compose yourself.
Relax, buddy. So eventually, they fall in love, romance. She pushes him away because I'm a time bomb, you know. And then they go to Amsterdam to meet the author. Surprise! William Dafoe is the author, which was awesome. He's also an angry drunk and is like, at one point. He hates them, and at one point he said, "You sounded a lot smarter in your emails. Did the cancer go to your brain?"
Wait, the author...
Defoe, the author of the book that she loved.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. I feel like we don't even need no more plot point, because I think it's all going to come down to this. Did Defoe actually turn this movie into a positive for you?
No.
Okay.
No, he wasn't in it enough.
Okay.
But he did earn the F-bomb of he tries to just keep being super mean to these two cancer kids, and she tells him to go fuck himself, which was a strong note. And then they come back, and after they have their amazing time in Amsterdam, even though they didn't let him sully it, cool guy is like, oh, forgot to mention, my cancer is super bad. So now he's the one that's the time bomb, and it's a role reversal. And then he passes away, and she's like, hey, I've learned to live again. I'm happy with the choices that I made, yada, yada, yada. Defoe shows up and gets in the car. He's still drinking. He's still an alcoholic, but he's like, I just wanted you to know that that guy's a good guy, and I'm going to try and be less shitty. And that's the movie.
So, -1, I'm assuming?
No, well, no. I actually liked the movie. It was pretty good. I give the movie a +1. It did it did a really good. Okay, I like to rip on it but it did a really good job of, if you get rid of even all the cancer stuff, it did a really good job of portraying like that young romance, like staying in bed to text each other, being on the phone longer than you'd think you're gonna be, like all that kind of wishy-washy stuff. It did a really good job of portraying that, especially on the guy's end. Again, this is another movie where the cool guy, did a way better job of acting than Shailene did. Shailene was really rocky at first, like couldn't get any emotions out. Her mom, who was from Jurassic Park, did a better job than she did of portraying emotion. She got better towards the end, but everyone else around her kind of did really well, and she again struggled. So I give the movie +1. I give her a -1 because she was the weakest link in that movie.
Damn.
I don't know what it is. I don't get it. But yeah, she's just struggled.
Okay.
So next up, we've got Divergent and Surgent, a convergent of movies.
We're running long also, so I'm going to sum this up real quick. 5 days after the first one, they overthrow, I believe it's Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
The movie itself, like I said, you want to hear more about this series, go back, listen to our previous episode. It's a -1. Her is a -1 because in all these movies, granted, I still have not seen the first one, she's just
bland.
There is no emotion in the face. There is none. It's like she's just delivering lines.
You know what? We'll talk about that when we sum up. Okay, since we're running a little long. Okay, we will jump to Allegiant, which is again another Divergent series.
Again, we reviewed this one. This one takes place like a month or 2 months after they overthrow Kate Winslet, and surprise, everything's still shitty. So they all like leave and try and find this new city, and then it turns out that city's not this ideal city, right. And
we get it.
It's
shitty.
It's shitty city.
-2, -1,
-2,
-2. Okay. All right. Next up, we've got Snowden, which I watched. She wasn't a big part of it. She was kind of his girlfriend that when things started getting crazy, she was kind of all over the place trying to figure out what happened. I know we're short on time. Good movie. Very interesting movie. Not sure how accurate it was to how that whole thing kind of took place. But she kind of she nothinged me in that movie, so I'll give her a +1 because I wasn't distracted by her. There was a really uncomfortable, it wasn't an uncomfortable scene, but it was just a really dry scene that wasn't good at all, but I won't let that affect her. So I actually give that +1 and +1.
All right. Which leaves us with...
That's all of them, except for if we want to give any credit to Joe's fourth movie, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I've searched long and hard for this scene. It has never been released. I admit to Sam I did not bother rewatching this movie, so I've still not seen it since theaters. But my initial reaction was when I watched it in theaters is it was god-awful. I can remember a lot of it. I stand by that statement. So I'm going to give the movie -1, but I'm going to give her a +1 because while I can't find it, there's no way that she would have made this movie worse. And I stand by my statement. She would have been barely in it. They revealed like she was in the montage at the beginning, and then there's another scene between her and Gwen later on. That's it. But there's no way she could have made this movie worse. But she was still, in my opinion, based on appearances, which is what everyone wanted to argue, made a fine Mary Jane.
So it's a 0
for that movie.
All right. So grand total with everything, -2. Thoughts, comments, concerns? Because I think I've got this figured out.
All right. Let's hear it.
So my analysis is the movies that she has been in since she's kind of become old enough to be really judged as an actor, unless you're a very specific person. If you don't count the young adult novel series, she actually gets a +4 in our book. Okay. Also, I think she suffers from the fatal flaw of being cast in the roles where she plays the every girl. You want every girl that watches this to imprint themselves upon her and be like, well, that could be me. So when you do that to a character, you go out of your way to write that character as kind of bland because it makes it easier for someone to throw themselves onto you. So I think that is kind of what's doing her a disservice, because if you look around her from what we've seen, everybody around her does a good job. The stories that she's in, the movies she's selecting, do a good job, except for the Divergent series, which actually have all of her love interests from all of her other movies in them. I didn't know that. But I actually think that I'm going to go ahead and say I think that she is talented, and that I will give her a positive in my book.
All right.
Because of that.
Happy birthday, Shailene. You've changed Sam's mind.
Whenever I want something smooth and classy, I listen to 3 Wise Radio.
The weather is getting colder outside, and if you don't live in a warm climate area, you may be thinking about taking a vacation, or maybe you'll be traveling for the upcoming holiday season. Either way, we thought it would be a good time to take a look at the most memorable vacation movies.
Maybe you just watched 4 Shailene Woodley movies back to back and
need a vacation. Either way, we thought the best way to tackle this would be to find a vacation movie. I'm not even going to say favorite, just a vacation movie that we know of on each of the 7 continents.
This was a mistake.
Damn.
This was a huge mistake. I'm going to get this out there. You'd think Antarctica would be the hard one. It wasn't for me.
All right, then let's start with Antarctica. I got nothing.
Penguins of Madagascar.
Are there people in that?
No, but it's a movie where the penguins go on vacation to Antarctica.
Oh, yes, that's fair.
That counts.
Bravo. Okay. Bravo.
Yeah.
We did not say it had to be real people.
We definitely didn't. We definitely did not. You're absolutely right. Is that the one with Morgan Freeman?
No, that's the one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Penguins?
No, Penguins of Madagascar.
But if you listen, there's a bit that people do on him because he doesn't know how to say penguins. So if you watch it,
so there's a movie
penguins.
that he narrates about penguins that's from. This is the spin-off from the Madagascar movies about the 4 penguins.
Oh, this is the animated. This isn't a documentary.
No.
This is the animated movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now we're all on the same page. Good. +1 to Joe.
So
it's a good movie. Has anybody seen it?
Oh, yeah. I love that movie. I liked it.
All right.
I haven't seen it. Out.
2 years ago?
It's like 2014.
Yeah, 2 years ago. It was on Netflix for a little bit, and I watched it. I was like, because I enjoy it. To me, those characters were the best parts of those movies.
Hey, man, you get extra points if it's a movie you've seen, so kudos to you. Does anybody want to go on vacation there?
Antarctica? No.
No, me neither. Cool, moving on.
Did anyone, because this is the one that I couldn't find for the life of me, did anyone find a vacation movie for Australia?
Yeah.
You did?
Kangaroo Jack.
Oh, that is a movie.
I did Our Lips Are Sealed, the Olsen twins.
I don't know what that is. I know who the Olsen twins are, but I don't know what that is.
They cover the globe, man.
Except for Antarctica.
Yeah, it's too cold.
So wait, did you just throw that into Australia because you couldn't find one? If they cover the
that
globe?
is one. Our Lips Are Sealed is one.
But you said they cover the globe in it.
No, all the movies that they made when they were kids, they covered the whole globe. Our Lips Are Sealed. I mean, technically they don't. There's not technically a vacation. They get put in whatchamacallit, witness protection, and they choose. They're like, yeah, because they witness a jewel thief, and so they're like, we want to go to Australia. Yeah, it'll be awesome. And then they go and get it because like our lips are sealed because like they're gonna keep their mouths shut. But in Australia, and they get into hijinks, and then they help like the police solve crimes, which is what they do in every movie because
the Olsen twins.
two heads are better than one. Kick-ass
and those
movie.
two heads are better than an entire police force.
Yeah, almost always.
Okay, so I'm still going based on how hard I think these are. South America.
Wait, what was yours?
Kangaroo Jack.
Oh, Kangaroo Jack. See, that's one.
No,
South America?
South America.
Oh, I put Anaconda.
Yeah.
We all put Anaconda.
Did you put Anaconda too? It's not a vacation.
They-
No, it's work. You ask business or pleasure, it's business. But sometimes business can be pleasure.
They leave from where
No,
they're
it's-
at to go.
Yeah, but it's
to go
definitely
somewhere else.
business.
All right, next we'll go to Asia.
Did everybody get the same one I did?
No.
Did everybody get
We
one?
don't know what he got.
I
You
got
can't.
one.
Yes or no.
You got one? Mine was the Rush Hour 2.
Oh.
Is that what you got
Hong
too?
Kong? Of course, yeah.
Get some Mushu.
I
Some Mushu.
get it.
Accents.
I got Darjeeling Limited.
What?
Oh,
It's a
Wes Anderson.
film.
Okay.
But it's three brothers played by Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman, and Adrian Brody, who go on like
weird. They're not usually in his movies.
but they go
I
on
hate
like
him
this.
so much.
They go on this train ride. Owen Wilson organizes this train ride across like India to kind of like bring them together after their father's death, and so it's just kind of like a family movie coming together sort of thing.
All right,
Kick ass.
Africa.
Oh shit! What was it?
Not Congo.
No, mine's not Congo.
I kept wanting to say Congo, but I didn't.
What is yours?
I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have one for
I
Africa?
don't have one. I couldn't
What do you
find
have?
one. The Olsen twins never went to Africa.
Transformers.
Does Transformers go to Africa?
Transformers 2.
Does it really? I've only seen that one. No, I've seen that one actually
They
a bunch.
don't go for vacation.
Oh, well, mine's technically business. Mine's Lord of War.
Yeah, that's business. God, I thought this was going to be so much easier. Were there any other locations? Did we just cover all of them?
We got North America.
We still got North America and Europe.
North America, all right.
Because there are other places you can go in North America besides United States. So North America and Europe. Let's go with Europe then.
I mean, Euro trip is the obvious one.
It is the yes.
But
But
I
that's
didn't.
not what I did.
Okay, what'd you do?
Roman Holiday, because I thought once again, I feel like it is my obligation sometimes to mention movies that came out prior to 1977. So
Okay. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I believe it's a 60s movie. It's either late 50s or early 60s, and it stars the one girl that everyone. Oh my God,
Shailene
Breakfast at Tiffany's girl. I can't think of her
Audrey
name.
Hepburn.
Thank you.
Garrett, what do you got?
Under the Tuscan Sun.
No,
Are they in Europe?
Yep.
Is Tuscany in Europe?
Yeah, it's in Italy.
Great.
that's not even close to a vacation. That's with Bruce Willis, right?
I don't remember.
Did you just look up a title and be
No,
like, that's in Europe?
this was a movie that my
Have you
mom
seen
watched.
it?
Yeah, my mom had.
So what's it about?
I remember I watched it when I was way younger.
Suspicious.
All right. What was yours, Sam?
Oh,
Was it an Olsen Twins movie again?
Winning London, Rome if you want to, and always classic Passport to Paris. Which the superior one is Passport to Paris.
True.
Because they teach the prime minister, the president and his wife that aqueducts are important.
By the way, Under the Tuscan Sun is not the Bruce Willis movie.
Which one is that?
It is a Clark Kent's mom. Help me out here. Diane Lane, John Cusack. No, not John Cusack. Diane Lane and who else? I can't find it.
Bruce Willis?
Not Bruce Willis.
Which one is
People
he?
I can't name. But anyway, yeah, it's a romantic movie.
This is going to bother me.
All right, North America, which is basically
All of them.
exactly, and I have a theory behind that. But let's all get our North American movies out of the way. Garrett, what was yours?
God.
Keep in mind, we haven't said this yet, but the one movie we
Tears
said...
of the Sun.
Tears of the Sun, thank you. But keep in mind, we couldn't
the one?
say this yet, but we haven't said this yet, but our rule is we could not pick any of the vacation movies.
Like the National
Right,
Lampoon
right.
ones.
How the West was fun.
You didn't have to do an Olsen Twins one for
The
this.
thing is, though, I've seen them all.
Why?
Because I used to watch all those.
Why?
I don't know. Because they were on.
All right.
They were cowgirls.
Apparently, yes.
From dusk till dawn.
Okay. Technically, I mean, actually, it's not even for business. It's just trying to escape, which falls under the thing of a vacation.
They're originally at the bar for pleasure.
Yes.
So there you go.
And it stays in North America the whole time.
There you go. Joe, what do you have? I didn't even put one for America.
You didn't.
There were so many.
You just did How the West Was Fun.
Oh, well, that I can just come up with that off the cuff. It's a skill set, guys.
Knowing Nielsen twin movies.
I did
great.
RV with Robin Williams, which is basically National Lampoon's Vacation Light.
Wild
starring-
Hogs.
That too.
Is that one?
Road Trip, the actual road trip itself.
There you go. Sex Drive.
So that's but that's the thing I'm finding. Vacation itself is not a genre, but summer vacation is a genre.
I remember what I was going to do.
But
for
only
Europe.
in America.
Right, but a lot of the movies that would fall under this, unless you're doing like Hostel, travel to a Eastern European place and
that's
get
the thing.
tortured.
Yeah, I could name horror movies because they always start on vacation. It's always
Should have just done that then. The vacation doesn't have to go right, and sometimes they don't.
Taken too.
Us going to Metropolis.
True. Why is that?
Wait, the horror movies go wrong? Or
No. I get what that is. Otherwise, like, why are they there? And why isn't everybody looking for them? That's an easy mystery to solve. Why is it that you don't really see a lot of vacation movies outside of the United States?
I can't answer.
But they're all about road tripping.
Yeah, I feel like
So maybe that's more of an American pastime type deal?
Yeah,
It's easier to do.
yeah. It's. I feel like it's got that American feel to it, sort of thing. Whereas like going over to France, it's like that's not a typical American thing to do. So.
And I guess also there's the elements of like comedy that like you get American humor, but like if you drop two people in Russia, while it might sound like a cool idea, like a funny idea, there's going to be a lot of Russian culture that you don't necessarily understand.
Does Rocky IV count as a vacation movie?
He was there for business, but it ended up being pleasure.
Yeah, vacation movie, sure.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like you go to IMDb, they don't have a list of vacation movies. They have a list of summer, vacation, and beach movies because there's not enough to make up
Right.
an entire list.
We made a mistake.
We did. If we were thinking outside the box, we could have said Mamma Mia for Europe as well.
Did they go to Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ABBA. You're not listening to ABBA in the United States.
Not in this day and age.
Yeah.
What was the movie? It was actually a good vacation movie. I was surprised it was good with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, we saw it and reviewed it. It was he's
Wasn't it
pretending
Adam
to be
Sandler?
someone else. Yeah, it's Adam.
He's like a dentist or something.
Yeah. And like we went into this and reviewed it for another show a long time ago. Just go with it.
Oh, and Brooklyn Decker.
Just go with it. That's it. That's the name of the movie. 2011. Yeah, I forgot about that because we went into that being like, this is going to be awful, and we all came out and was like, this was pretty good.
Who was
don't remember that
there was
movie
some
ever
funny
coming out.
side character.
Nick Schwartz.
Yeah, it was Nick Schwartz. Classic Nick Schwartz. So what did we learn from this? To pay more attention when we select things to do.
Don't go to
If there's a
don't
big
go on
old-
vacation to Antarctica.
Don't go on vacation to Antarctica.
We learned that.
There's a wide market open for movies about traveling.
Yeah, we learned that maybe road trip or summer vacation movies could be a topic for us in the future. But vacation
They're all the
movies,
same, though.
They are, but technically you could argue that comic book movies are all the same as well. There's a hero, there's a villain, there's an origin. He defeats the hero and villain.
Probably. I would still rather watch Anaconda.
That's what we learned. You can always watch Anaconda, and that even if they tell you they were there for business,
J-Lo's in it.
they were there for pleasure.
Yeah, J-Lo's in it. That's pleasure.
Yeah. Who else is what's his name's in it?
John Voight,
Yeah, John Voight's in it, and isn't LL in it?
LL Cool J?
Yeah.
No, that's Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, I know he's in that. I think he's in that. Is he not in that?
I don't know, and I can't keep this going probably long enough for you to look it up.
No, that's fine. This is for personal. This is for pleasure. This isn't business for me. Nicki Minaj. What? Not in
She's
Anaconda.
not in Anaconda.
She did a song called Anaconda. Similar premise. Ice Cube. Damn it.
So that's what we learned. Ice Cube is in Anaconda.
Owen Wilson as well.
Hi, my name is Three Wise Radio.
Hi, 3 Wise Radio.
As usual, we end every episode with what's piquing your interest, or we just say what is piquing our interest. Garrett, you know the drill. What's piquing your interest?
What's piquing my interest is a Tribe Called Quest dropped a new album this week, and it's great. It's so great. They do.
They were also on Saturday Night Live, I believe, this past week with Dave Chappelle.
Coincidence? I think not.
No, the album's good. They've got a few songs featuring Andre 3000, Jack White, Kendrick Lamar, and it's just a really good album for their last album. You know, because they said they're not going to do any more.
This is their swan song?
Yeah. So
cool.
I enjoy it.
But is it bittersweet then, knowing that this is the last one?
Nah, because I listened to it. I listened to it all.
They can be done.
I listened to it all before I found out that it was the last one. I was like, yeah, this is just a great album. And then I was like, oh, well, that sucks, but it's still a great album. So
fair enough.
Sam, what's piquing your interest?
Piquing my interest, Joe, I've delved back into the realm of video games again. It's been a long time since I bought a first-person shooter, primarily for online multiplayer. So I bought all of them. I bought...
That's called overdosing.
Yes, no, it definitely is. But I was just interested because I haven't been in that world in a while. So I bought Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1, and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, as well as Gears of War, but that's really a first person. So I bought all of them, tried playing all of their multiplayers, and I just wanted to give a 20-second review.
Yeah.
So have any of you had any interest in getting any of these titles?
Battlefield.
Yeah.
And Titanfall. But not as much as Battlefield.
Right on.
I need to know colors for these games. It's usually
In Battlefield, the colors are almost exclusively just brown.
touche.
So Battlefield 1 is really cool. Like the pros of it is that more like any of the other games, you like feel the weight of the battle. Like it feels like a legitimate multiplayer feels like a legitimate piece of warfare. Yeah. But the controls are just classic Battlefield. They're too clunky, especially with games now like Infinite Warfare and Titanfall where you're moving and grooving, you're flying all around. It's just too blocky. You don't have the mobility that you think that you should. Even the sliding mechanic, which they tried to like reinvigorate things with over the last few years, just still feels kind of dull. So the setting's really cool, but there's just also not that much customization, and it's just a little lackluster. It feels a little too skeletal. There's just not enough meat on there.
Gotcha.
Infinite Warfare has gotten better, but it feels like it's kind of a hybrid of it's trying to be Titanfall with how much maneuverability you have, but it's still just isn't quite there. Like it's just Call of Duty, and it's oftentimes more frustrating than not. Maybe that's just because I'm not as good as it as I used to be because I don't play it as much. But the customization, Call of Duty wins every time in terms of customization. Like you're able to, your weapon color and emblem color, so many attachments you can make. They've got a really good system now that they used with Black Ops as well, where you get like 10 key points and you can adjust your character however you want. So you can have a really tricked out primary weapon or other things like that. So it's just got lots of customization. And then Titanfall is just the sexiest one. It is the shooter that when I play it, it feels the sexiest. Like your mobility is amazing. You're all over the place. It's high energy, high action. It's just a little shallow like Battlefield in terms of customization and things like that. So if you could have the customization and the options that Call of Duty had, but in Titanfall would be the ultimate multiplayer experience. So
what about Halo? Have you not wanted to give Halo a shout out?
I have Halo. I played it. It's not what it used to be. It'll never be Halo 2 again. It's kind of fun, but it's just kind of lackluster.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend picking up Titanfall. It's got a pretty steep learning curve, but once you get it, it's so much fun to fly around. That would be my highest recommendation.
All right.
Joe?
Okay, what's piquing my interest this week? HBO released their trailer for an upcoming documentary, which debuted at, I believe, the Southwest Film Festival earlier this year, and I've always been fascinated by this. It's the Beware the Slender Man documentary. And
Slender Man, he's in the woods.
He is, and it talks about the real life stabbing where like two teenage girls took it a little too far and almost killed another girl.
Yeah.
And it goes through that court case, like what happened, and there's like a minute and a half trailer. They haven't announced a release date yet, but hearing these girls talk and knowing that this actually happened, regardless of like believing in the boogeyman or stuff in the night, like this is a real thing. And it's scary that social media and a lot of other things can have this effect on people, especially young minds,
Yeah.
into believing things that are not true. And it like I said, it just
bewilders you.
It does. It's extremely scary, but for all the wrong reasons.
It's very unsettling.
So, looking forward to that sometime in the near future on HBO, which is a pay-for-streaming service. But we are not a pay-for-streaming service, and most likely never will be. But if you'd like to, throw a little something our way, you can tell us about it. There's many different ways you can do so. Took the long road there. You can email us at 3wiseradio@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at 3wiseradio or hashtag 3wiseradio, or find us on Instagram at 3wiseradio, or on Facebook at 3wise Media. Don't forget, our sister podcast, Movie Versus, comes out every Thursday. Next week, we are doing Guilty Pleasures in honor of Thanksgiving coming up, because we believe that a lot of football and a lot of food sometimes are guilty pleasures. So we'll be diving into that realm. If you have a guilty pleasure, you can share it with us at the foremost things I mentioned. Forementioned things. Thank you. I listed earlier.
You just gotta bail, Joe. We gotta get out.
3 Wise Radio is a production of 3 Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.